Hi everyone, welcome back to this fifth video in the Kazini Maisha series. In this video, I want to look at stealth in more detail. Now remember, in the previous video we said that stealth is about secrecy. In other words, people who behave stealthily want to do things without being noticed or without interrupting anything. This definition of stealth reminded me of the pictures we see of a lioness hunting for food. As she approaches the animal she wants to eat, she has to be silent and as invisible as possible. So we can draw some parallels between this picture and what happened to Elisha Bwatuti and Kennedy Nganga. Remember what I said about work as dignity, creativity, and love. That's what these two men were doing. They were just doing their thing, maturing as people in their skills, their knowledge, and their humanity. So Elisha tells us that he moved from wheat farming to dairy farming, expecting his work to feed him. He even calls himself a proud dairy farmer. So that means he is affirming his dignity. Kennedy tells us that he was a graduate and then he became an employee and then he decided to go into tech entrepreneurship on his own. So both of these men were creative and they converted their labor into something that was transformative. So we have Elisha doing milk production and Kennedy creating a prototype. And then the business people came. For Kennedy, it was the MBA graduate and a venture capitalist. And for Elisha, it was the cartels and the regulations. And these business people operate like wolves in sheep clothing. They use drama na video. The cartels lie about the milk being produced in Uganda, and the MBA graduates told Kennedy to sell his shares. I want to give us this caution. We must not justify this predatory system as natural, as I hear some people saying, because just because lions and wolves do it doesn't mean that we should. We are not lions and wolves. We are human beings. There's a difference between the lioness, the wolves, and us. The difference is that they do not prey on their own species. The lioness is hunting an antelope, not a fellow lion. And the wolf is hunting a sheep, not a fellow wolf. But in these stories of Kennedy and Elisha, which is the story of slavery and colonialism, you have human beings hunting other human beings. Theft of work is therefore a form of cannibalism. And this cannibalism is made possible through alienation like racism, where one section of humanity is taught not to see the humanity of the other section. Racism teaches us that whites are lions and blacks are antelopes, and yet we are all the same species. It takes a lot of violence and distortion through the media, religion, and education to make people believe in this lie. And this is what I will be talking about in other videos to come. So the work of those who fulfill their humanity is stolen by people who are alienated from their humanity, and so they don't want to work. And so these alienated people spend time devising and updating ways to steal from the work of others who are fulfilling their humanity, like Elisha and Kennedy were doing. So how do we resist this stealth? I want to offer two lessons that Elisha and Kennedy's experiences teach us. One is that we must always talk about the process of our work and not just about the product. We can never understand the theft of our work unless we tell the stories of the process, because theft does not always happen at the same stage of the work process. Here in Kenya, for example, we tend to talk about corruption when it comes to the theft of our taxes at the treasury, which is at the end of work. But we don't talk about how government regulations create and facilitate cartels that carry out legalized stealing. And we can't understand it unless we are patient enough to keep telling our stories, but also to listen to them. But this also means that Kenyans must be able to concentrate long enough to listen. Our attention span has been shortened by watching too much media, and so we must relearn to increase our concentration so that we can pay attention to the process of work, and not just of our own work, but of other people's work. The second lesson that Kennedy and Elisha's stories teach us is that we must be community. Kennedy expressed his concern for the African techpreneurs who are always kept at the bottom of the ladder while the Wazungu come and take away their ideas, and then we think that Africans are not creative. Elisha also appealed to wakulima wenzangu. At the end of the day, work is about all of us and must not be in secret. Remember that work is about love. There is no work if there's no love and solidarity. So once again, please subscribe, send comments and questions, and let's continue the conversation. Thank you for watching.